What's up, YouTube? Welcome to more trades. Well, Bitcoin did the unexpected. We can't really say it's unexpected because we sort of expected it, but the probabilities were higher to the downside. But it pulled one tricky one on us. We'll be diving into Bitcoin today, Solana, the DXY, Nasdaq, the Dow Jones, the traditionals. We'll be looking at all the markets and how they interact. And I'll be giving you more price targets and what I see from the market. Yeah, I hope you'll enjoy the stream. If you haven't already, smash the likes and click the notifications and subscribe to the channel, as I post almost every day, updating you with the highest probable trades, highest technical, in-depth technical analysis and targets for our next trade setups. And yeah, basically enjoy the stream. And if you have any tokens or anything you want to take a look at, you can let me know. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to it and click the notifications and give a follow on Instagram. The link is on the about section of the channel, where I post some trade setups, screenshots with descriptions written under them to let you know what's happening to the market. None of this is financial advice. So yeah, just give me a second. I'll just get the door. Someone's at the door. All right, I'm back. So let's take a deep dive into Bitcoin, as Bitcoin is king in my opinion, and the markets react to what Bitcoin does. And let's take a look at what's happening. Let's analyze this. All right, Bitcoin had a nice move up from the lows over here of 470. It was a nice trade up for whoever took it. That was about 16%. Wow, amazing. And we got rejected at the point of control over here from this range that we formed. Now, in my opinion, it's very hard to predict. At the moment, Bitcoin is coming into this green box that you see over here. It's just liquidity that we have in this candle. So many trades, so much money was exchanging hands. So you see this indicator gives me the locations of where liquidity was exchanged hands so many times. It's like volume, but it's different than volume. Volume measures the amount of volume. Here it measures the amount, the tick volume, how many times money was exchanging hands. And that usually only can happen with market makers or liquidity providers or big money. So you know where big money was opening his longs or his shorts. Usually on the way up, retail would want to long, but big money is usually opening shorts on the way up. So after a move up, it could move even to 30K, then they could come down and claim this. But after a move up, they usually come down to claim profits on their shorts that have opened on the way up. You can see we have a lot of liquidity here, these maroon boxes. Up here we have a lot of shorts up to 25k. That's really interesting. We look like we're having a small pullback on Bitcoin. Usually when they get into the zones, they release some liquidity, and that causes the price to react. So if you look at the 1 minute time frame, you can see it more clearly. We come down, we tap liquidity, and we get a reaction. We may come up and tap this liquidity and come down. That's how it goes. Now I'm going to get into more technicals and let you know why we reacted exactly here. I like to use Fibonacci retracements and Fibonacci extensions. My wave count, I posted it in my previous video early on today, my previous live. I won't start off from 69k. I'll just show you from here what I was looking at. This was a wave wave 1 down, followed by a wave 2 up, and I was expecting a wave 3 to at least the 1-to-1 extension. The wave 3 exceeded my expectations and came to the 2.414. So it exceeded expectation. I would expect a pullback. And where would I expect a pullback? I would measure the fib retracement. Fibonacci is quite accurate if you know your levels and you know the retracement levels for certain waves. I won't claim that I know it all in Fibonacci, but I'm using it very frequently and I'm trying to learn more of it. So from this wave 3 top, the beginning, to say this is the end of wave 3, this is going to be a wave 4. It really looks like a corrective wave up, a 1, 2, 3, like an ABC. Of course, it could come down and form another wave down, and this will be a big A, and this will be a big B, and we'll expect a C equal in length or even exceeding this amount. It could go up to 1.618, the length of this. Okay, so at the moment I was expecting Bitcoin to at least come and retest 1874, but the markets are not perfect. This level, what was this level? This wick over here was 20,685. 20,000. Okay, so I'm almost there. 20,000. Let's put it there. 690 is just fine. And this low was 15,462. So we try to put it as accurate as possible. 462, 458. I'll take that. So we were very close to the 0.5. We exceeded the 0.382. We didn't get to the 0.5, and we got a rejection from the point of control. Usually point of control is a point of support or resistance. You break above it. For now, if you break above this and you start holding 1 hourly candles above it, 17,457, you will see upside. We could even retrace for this wave. If it's going to be an impulse, or it could be a beginning of something. If it's going to be an impulse wave, then we could see we could even see as high as the 0.786, in my opinion. But the only time you should really consider that Bitcoin is going to break out of here, first off, you need to claim this high. You see we got rejected almost exactly at this previous high. It basically just claimed some liquidity. There was liquidity over here. There were vectors and liquidity, so it claimed that, and we pulled back ever so slightly. Now, if Bitcoin can reclaim the 18k region and obviously get above the value area high, which is just around there, 18,100, then we could go up. Next point of interest would be the 0.618. You need to be aware of your Fibonacci levels, your volume profile, fixed range volume profile of the range. You just pull it from the beginning of the range to the end of the range where you're at the moment. It doesn't matter. You don't have to put it exactly at price, just the range. And you have to be aware of your EMAs, your exponential moving averages. I have this indicator that shows me, this is on the 15-minute time frame. This blue cloud over here is the purple cloud is the 50 EMA. We are testing it for support. If we hold, then that's great. We could move up. It's very possible. But if we start losing it, then that's bad. And if the 5 and the 13 start crossing the 50, sorry, let me just, yeah, the 5 and 13, yeah, because I use other indicators as well. The 5 and 13, if they start crossing down the 50, then if you miss this trade at the moment, you have another point of entry, a higher probable entry. Your higher probable entry would be when Bitcoin breaks down below the 50 and you see the 5 and 13, this is on the 15 minute, crossing the 50, and you see price coming down, then price comes up back to the 50, and you look for that rejection, either a wick or sort of a consolidation below the cloud or right at the blue line, and start rejecting, then you know that momentum will be shifting to the downside and you could enter on a retrace of the 50. Not financial advice, that's just how I trade. So far it's been good for me. At the moment we have formed a pattern over here. Wow, this is a big one, big highlighter. An M formation. Could it play out? It could, but Bitcoin could easily do this. We're still on the 50. You need to be cautious of that. We're still not breaking down. Once you lose the 50, then you know momentum is shifting. The 5 and the 13 will basically just show you where momentum is pointing. At the moment, momentum is pointing down for the short time. For the short time frames, it's pointing to the downside. We can do this. We've done this before. Look, we sort of formed an M over here, came below the 50. You come here, you retest, and you think this is a rejection, this is a red candle, you go all in and you get a big candle upwards. So you really need to be careful. You need to see the breakdown and the retrace, and you always need to use stop losses. If you're interested in knowing how I use stop losses, I've said it so many times in different videos. I use different ways depending on the capital that I have, but some methods are quite good, and I try to minimize leverage so I'm not that exposed to the market. That's for Bitcoin. My targets to the downside, obviously, if we come down, then it's clear as day. Then we have support over here at this level. Where is that? Just about here. 16,764. If we even break down, so far we're holding the 50. This is a support level. So some traders would say, okay, we broke up, came down, retested the 50, and we might be shifting out. It's the same way in reverse. If you break down, retest the 50, and you're coming down. But the problem is you had the EMAs on the 15 minute already crossing down, and if you go to the smaller time frames on the 5 minute, I believe you've lost the 50. You could even trade it off the 5 minute using the same technique. We broke down the 50 with strong vector candles, and at the moment there is no follow through, and we might be shifting back up. The EMAs react faster on smaller time frames, so you could see it. I break down my entries, like I look at higher time frames, then I go even to the 1 minute and see what are the candles doing. The candles are getting support on the 800 slightly, and looks like we want to cross up and come back to the 50. So another target, a very important target, you shouldn't ignore this, is the Fibonacci retracement from the low to our high at the moment, our high of day. The 0.618 and the 0.65, which is called the golden pocket, right over here. We have the golden pocket over here. Sits at the 16,440 and the 16,359. That level would be very important if we even get down there. On the 15 minute, that will coincide. Well, let's look at the fixed range volume profile. Our value area low is way down here. We won't have much support. If we release now, we definitely are coming down to at least 16,628 if we release down. But in my opinion, we're still holding the 50. Even on the 15-minute, we just need to see how this candle will play out. We have 14 minutes on this 15-minute candle remaining, and we'll see how it goes. All right, that's not all for Bitcoin, but I want to look at some other indicators. So let me just turn off my indicators, have a bit more clarity in the chart, and let's pull up the RSI and the MACD. Where's that? Let me just get rid of one of these. The moving average, convergence, divergence. So this is on the 15-minute. On the 15-minute, you could see we had what is called bearish divergence. We had higher high on price, and we had a lower high on the RSI. So if you see that, you could play it off that, but you need to look at other things at the same time. Where are you in the chart? What is pointing up, pointing down? The RSIs. You see, Bitcoin could easily come back up. This is liquidity over here. I can show you that. You see, we have this red zone. We could come and claim it and release upwards. It looks like it's a pumpy day. Thursdays is usually a midweek reversal. The market reverses. If we were going down, Thursday can be a day that we go back up to claim profits. Now the MACD has crossed on the 15-minute, pointing downwards. We see these red bars are getting bigger in size. We haven't got light bars as we got here. You see, you get these lighter color bars and they're curving upwards. Then you know that momentum is shifting on the 15-minute. Same thing, divergence on the MACD. We had a high and we had a lower high, same as the RSI. Let's look at the money flow index, MFI. The money flow index had the same story. We had a high over here and a lower high, so we had bearish divergence. But let's see if we have any bullish divergences on any other time frames for continuation. Let's look at this. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame. We had a bullish divergence over here between this low and this low. Actually, we didn't have. On the hourly, we didn't have. Let's look at the 4 hourly. There were no bullish divergences on the 4 hourly. 30-minute, between this low and this low. This low is here. Let's take a look. We had a low, lower low, low. Yeah, we didn't have any bullish divergences, and at the moment this wave action, we're not forming any bullish divergence on the 30. Over here we had a low. Yeah, we formed what is called hidden bullish divergence. See this? If this candle closes up like this, we'll have a higher low. If we close in this way, if it doesn't break down, higher low on the price action and lower low on the RSI, and that is called hidden bullish divergence. Hidden divergence is a continuation of the trend. The smaller time frame trend is up, even though the macro is down, but we may get a pump on the 15-minute. On the hourly, not so much. So it's a 15-minute divergence, not much strength, but it could still play out. Now let's get back my indicators and the volume profile. Alright, now I would like to take a look at what happens with the dollar, because as you know, if the dollar tanks, then Bitcoin and the markets have a chance. We've broken through this strong support that we have. It's a strong level. We've been respecting. Either we bounce off it or we rip it with high liquidity, high volume. You see, whenever we rip through this level, it's always with a big candle, a strong candle. If I put my indicators on, you might not see it on this chart. I'll go to the DXY on capital.com. You'll see the vector candles clearly. So let's look at that level. It was, sorry, I have to go back. Just want to show you this. The 109.273, the 109.273, and if we go to the other chart, capital.com, and you mark out the 109.273, let's mark it. 109 coordinate 109.273. Okay, there it is. You see this color, this candle color implicates that there was a lot of money exchanging hands at this point. It's a level of interest. And if you look over here, same thing, the green candle and the green candle. And even if you go back, you'll always see whenever we touch this level, it's usually a big bounce. Well, we haven't touched it. We started hitting it just here. It's an old level for Bitcoin. I mean for the DXY, the dollar index. And my next support is this 1 hour. I have no EMA there. The 4 hour, I have the 800 EMA coming at 107. But next strongest support is down here, 103, 104. This chart is old, so I don't have updated targets. Over here I have other targets. Yeah, 106.3. If we don't go up, we're coming down to the 106. What will that do? If we come down to the 106, then definitely. Hi, Mr. Nobody, how you doing? Hope you're having a great day and your trades are going well. And you're having a blessed day, my brother. If this reverses and goes up, then if we don't break out here of the DXY with volume, then we'll be rejected and coming down, and that will pump the rest of the market. At the moment, for me, I did not enter long, unfortunately, at the low. I missed it because I saw that we would have lower targets. I have some confluence for that, why I think Bitcoin was going to go lower. I will show you that. For starters, this is a trend line I had, this green trend line. Excuse the spider webs, the Fibonacci channels that I have. I had taken it when Bitcoin had made this high and a lower high, and I was expecting it to get rejected and it pumped. Mr. Nobody, sorry, just give me a minute. I need to get the door. I'll be right back. All right, Mr. Nobody, I'm back. I think that's sorry I was interrupted. I think that's a good idea to sit aside, let the dust settle, and take higher probable trades. Now, I want to say why I thought that we're going to have more downside. For starters, this trend line, I was expecting it to be resistance, but we broke out so strongly. We came down again and tested it over here and pumped off it. And I missed my entry over here. When we came down, I should have seen it and taken the trade over here, because I have several charts for Bitcoin that I missed that. Hey, Jason, was here. Thanks. You're back again, huh? I'll take a look at Solana again. I'm in a Solana trade, but I think it wasn't really a good decision. I have a stop loss, but I'm trying to hold it through. As price came down, I came out, I took away 25% of my position, and I'm keeping an eye on Solana. I was really expecting Solana to hit 9.65. We exceeded the target, and I was in mad profit. It was a great trade. I made about 500% because I was stopped out. And if I kept it open, there was a chance I would made 1,000% on my trade using 12x leverage. But I made 500% because I was too tired, had to go to sleep, didn't want to keep babysit the trade, and I just put a stop loss to get 500%. That's it. You missed that too, Mr. Nobody, huh? It's all right. The thing is, I realized, especially in this bear market, there will always be a trade. The psychology is that a lot of people think that if I don't catch the high at 25K, then how will I enter a short? There's always going to be another level, another range. There's always another range. I caught the high at 69K. That was a good one. And at 40K, I still have the trade open. I added to my position of 40K, and it's down. My entries at 25K at the moment. But not all trades are like, I don't know, maybe other YouTubers make it seem like they're always, their trades are always shining. There are bad days. You just have to lick your wounds and continue. There's some days that my trades don't go my way. You can't control them. Okay, on this chart, Jason, before I go to Solana, I just want to get into something here, why I thought Bitcoin would go lower. For starters, on this chart, I have a level over here of this other descending trend line. That's at 18,190. And that is in confluence with what I showed you over here, my fixed volume profile range value area. Oh, the value area high is a bit higher. Sorry. Okay, 18,190. And if we exceed that, then we're coming to this Fibonacci channel, which will be support. Of course, the target will move there, ascending and descending. 18,595. So those are the next targets I would be looking at personally, not telling anyone what to do, but I would be looking at if I wanted to enter a short. I'm already in a short. I don't think so I'm going to add to my short, because I added to my short, it changed my entry on another account that I have also. Exactly. You look at one time frame, then you can go to the lower ones and dissect it and see other. Now I'm gonna get to something. I posted this video, Bitcoin, 4 months ago. I was saying, I think the title was Bitcoin, no one is showing you this, or Bitcoin, when will it rise? I can't remember, I'm sorry. I'll try to put a link to that video at the end screen of this video. You could take a look at it. It was 4 months ago, and I was looking at this chart of Bitstamp on the weekly. Until date, no one is posting that. No one has posted it. And yeah, I'm just looking at that, and I'm gonna show you that in a minute. My lower targets for Bitcoin. Guys, if you haven't already, please smash the likes. It helps the channel. That's all I ask for, nothing more. That and that. Sorry. Okay. I'm not saying that I haven't seen any YouTuber show this. Maybe there is somebody there that was showing this. This is a weekly chart on Bitstamp. Okay, the 10 and the 100 are still pointing down on the weekly, so that's nothing good. But I had more in-depth TA. If you watch the video, you would see there are more things that I'm not going to talk about. I don't want to waste so much time on that. But at the moment, Bitcoin has never done this before. It is below the 400 EMA. The 400 weekly EMA for Bitcoin has been broken this week. If the week closes, I'll give you a target. If the week closes below 17,699 for now, 17,699.47, that will be very bad for Bitcoin in my opinion. Of course, we might have a bear rally, as they call it, but in my opinion, it has never had happened ever before. I'll go back in time. This is the 300. The orange one is a 300. Let me get rid of the rest because they're gonna disturb the view. Okay, we have the 300, 400, and 500 EMA. The 500 EMA on the weekly started forming in March 2021. So let's look at the 300 in orange and the 400. If you go back in time, ever since Bitcoin was created, I went so far away. The 300 EMA started over here. We only had a 300 EMA from 2017, so you could say ever since Bitcoin was created, it has never closed below the 300. We wicked a weekly. It has never even touched the 400. And at the moment, we broke the 400 drastically. I mean, I think it was a 10% drop from the 400, 11%. And if we close below this level, then you might need to consider that we are going down. Of course, you could trade it up, trade it down, but you need to have the macro view of the market. So the macro view, in my opinion, at the moment is right over here. I drew a descending resistance line on the weekly. This is from August 22, and it's going down. We need to get above this same level, 17,699. My next point of interest was this, and we broke through it. 18,558 will be a weekly level of resistance. You can see how we consolidated here for 2 weeks, bounced off it, wicked below it, and then we blasted off. At the bottom, that's why I thought Bitcoin is coming down, because I have the 500. We've never tested the 500. That's just my view. It is in confluence with, I'll give you something, one more golden nugget. You'll see that the thing is, the charts always have hints and indications, because the markets are traded by algorithms and humans, and human nature doesn't change, human behavior. Down here you see this green box. This candle is a green vector candle. That means a lot of tick volume, a lot of money was exchanged over here, and that's when we blasted off and made it to 64k. Look at that over here. We have recovered almost every vector we have on the weekly. We still have this that we haven't recovered. We have this, we recovered it this week. Well, it was recovered previously. We have this zone that we didn't recover. This zone lies between 14,777 and, let me just look at the low and the high. The low is 13,220. So 1300 or the 500 EMA is a probable target. If we continue, of course, we can have a bear rally. And I have a wave count that I've had for a long time, ever since 69k. These lines you see here are just lines that I have Fibonacci time, and my next Fibonacci time is on the 12th of November this week. So if I go on the 4-hourly, you'll see it over here, 12th of November, and they are just pivot points. You could see when we hit them, this was the last time we hit it, we dropped. Over here, not so much, but sometimes we get significant drops of 10% or more, or even bounces. The thing is, they don't tell you direction. This was perfect. Look at that. On the day of the fib time, actually no, this was the 0 fib time. There's some targets that hit. I mean, I don't trade solely off this, but okay, I'll go for the macro wave count. On the weekly, from 69k, we came down in a 5 wave, and we are in the 5th wave in my opinion. We could be done. The 5th wave has broken below the 3rd wave, which was here. The 3rd wave had 5 waves down, and now my 5th wave has 5 waves down. My target for the 5th wave can go down to 10k, but I'll be looking at that 14k region for starters. You have to make a detailed video on how you do your fib and Elliott waves. Sure, Mr. Nobody. I think I have a video, but I'll make a video on how to plot Elliott waves. I'm not an Elliottician, but I have the basic knowledge that helps me plot it. The CPI result for October is a good indication for bullishness. You're right. I was looking at it, and that's why the markets ripped. They were just looking for a reason. You see, the markets always move, and we always have a reason. It's I don't know if it's coincidence, but it's always played like that. Like we had the FTX, SB, whatever his name, Sam Bankman-Fried, and all that. Then we had this massive dump, and then now we had the CPI. We have this great 11% pump or whatever it was. I mean, yeah. FTX is not good. It's just one of the others. I mean, we had Celsius, we had Luna Luna. We had a lot of those. They will get liquidated. The traditional markets have not entered in an extreme bear market. I mean, we are in sort of a bear market, but I believe we haven't broken the lows yet. For the Dow Jones, the S&P, the Nasdaq, I believe we have much lower. You need to know that the dollar index made all-time highs, a 20-year high. This was months back when we reached to the 112, 114. That was like a 12. Thanks for smashing the likes, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you for being here. It keeps me going when I know that people are with me in the stream. Yeah, I appreciate all of you. So the dollar index is skyrocketing. Of course, you would expect a pullback. Okay, dollar is dumping, but when you look at it at the weekly, it's just a minor pullback, brother. It's just a minor pullback. It's been going parabolically. It looks like a shitcoin. Excuse my language. Look at the rise. It just looks like Shiba Inu. This is insane. And the dollar will still be dominant. I don't think so. The US government is going to let the dollar tank. PVSRA, yeah. Yep. I use it. I have that. I have it in my favorites because I use the Traders Reality Indicator along with the PVSRA, along with the Vector Candle Zones. Those are all Traders Reality. Shout out to Tino. He's a nice guy. I mean, you could learn a lot by watching him. PVSRA. There. I think I have too many indicators. What's happening here? It's a weekly. Let's go on the hourly. What's happening here? Where's my PVSRA? PVSRA. There we go. Because this is a US dollar index. Sorry, Bitcoin. There you go. So when you see these vector candles, you could see that it's tick volume, and you could compare them with previous candles. In my opinion, the past few hours, this whole rise is the volume is minute. This just tell me market makers manipulating the range. But look at the volume die out. Okay, I'll dive into Solana since I have a trade on Solana. I'm hoping it dumps to 0. Just kidding, but yeah, I have some levels for Solana that I'm looking at. Solana over here. Yeah, I don't know him, but I watch his videos. Very informative. If you want to kick out FOMO, you should watch some of his streams. You understand one basic thing that every trader needs to learn. I mean, you could have excellent entries, but you will never know when to exit because you are greedy. People are just greedy. You need to always pay yourself, as he always says. Pay yourself, pay yourself, pay yourself. That's great. You've been following him longer than me. Yeah, he's a swell guy. Okay, so for Solana, Jason. For Solana, we have on the hourly, we have retested the 50 EMA on the hourly and testing the 50 EMA and getting rejected. And if we get the 5 and the 13 cross like this, you'll have the 5 EMA coming down if we start pushing down. This is on the hourly, so it will take time, several candles. The 13 EMA will be doing this. Once they start crossing down and you're below it, that is a good entry. Like now, if I was watching this at this instance and I didn't have a trade in, I would definitely go in here for several reasons. I'll show you there are a lot of confluences at this point. Yeah, I'll show you. At this particular level, there's more than one reason to have taken this trade. I'll go back to that chart. Solana on the hourly. You have many reasons. You need to use confluences. Once oh, I'm sorry to hear that, bro. It's not funny. 28 to 24. If you were using leverage, you could have lost a lump sum. I took a short at 23, and then I closed it early. Fed Reserve increasing their interest rates, the high while while other countries could catch up, in an indication that the USD will obviously stay stronger. Yeah, I mean, the Bank of Japan Japan has been getting rid of its dollar assets so it can strengthen the yen, because if you look at USD JPY, it was skyrocketing to 150. And at the moment, that's why the dollar has been dumping recently, because Japan has been offloading its dollar holdings so it can strengthen its currency a bit. But all countries are going through inflation. I mean, you need to be aware. If any of you are from Europe or where are you guys from? If you're from Europe or the UK, whatever happens in Europe is going to affect Bitcoin, because if the euro goes up, the DXY is around 50% euro. It's a dollar index. It's a basket of currencies. Oh yeah, I can imagine it could still hurt 2x. It depends on how much you put in it. Hope you had a stop loss and you didn't lose your whole account. The DXY is made up of currencies: the Swiss franc, the DXY, the Swiss franc, the euro, the Japanese yen, and other currencies. The euro holds the highest volume in the DXY, around 50%. So if the euro rises, as inflation increases in Europe, in the UK, the government will be strengthening the pound, the British pound, and the euro will be going stronger, and that will cause the dollar to go down. And if that happens, the markets skyrocket. So you need to see that. You need to look at the euro, the DXY, the traditionals, and the crypto market. Okay, Solana. Back to Solana. You have more than one reason I was saying to get into this trade. The reason I had, if I wasn't in a trade already, I would get in a trade over here at that particular rejection, because you have three confluences, I believe. You have the value area high of this fixed range volume profile. You went above it and couldn't continue. There was no follow through. You had that, you had the 50 EMA, and you had one more thing. If you come up here, I believe it was from the swing high over here to the low, I had a level. You got rejected exactly at the 0.382. You wicked above, but the 0.382 is a good level for a wave 4 retracement and possibly continuation to the downside. So if wave 4 wants to top off here, then we will go down. Otherwise, if this is still a correction up to the $20.641, in my opinion, it could still be a correction. Once we start exceeding that, then I need to reanalyze and look at the markets a bit differently. I'll need to look at it differently. Looking at the 15-minute time frame, we are still above the 50 EMA. So the 15-minute time frame might take us up. We have formed sort of a double top over here. On the 4-hourly, we are below the 13, but we are above the 5. 5 is holding us as support, 5 EMA. We could curl up. I could give you some targets. I didn't exit my Solana trade right now because I'm looking at the chart as potentially forming a higher high and a higher low. You're right. We are forming a higher high and a higher low. And that could lead into continuation. If we're able to hold above this level, we just need to go above 18.343 as support, then $20 and 25 Solana is in the cards, and that will be just a target from the high over here of the wave 3 to the low. $25 would take you up to the golden pocket around $24, around yesterday's high. So if you're trading long, then you need to be aware of this. The golden pocket, $24 for possible TP1, because you're having that on the 15-minute, that's a golden pocket. I'll show you something else. On the hourly, you have the 200 EMA coming down, which is a point where Solana rejected previously. And we could pull, as you know, Tino says, an FTD. So yeah, so just be aware that you have the 200 coming in. You're still below the 50. For bullish continuation, you want to be, okay, on the 15-minute, you're above the 50. You're testing and holding the 50, but you have your EMAs crossing down. If Solana starts tanking now, the bullish possibility is $20, $24, and I showed you the target of the golden pocket. It was the $24 range, and we need to get above the $20. And you have your EMA on the 15-minute, the 800 coming at 25, 26. You have this resistance over here, 25.73. Just by looking left, it was support. We broke through it, turned resistance. And I think if you go further left, you would see that it played out. And it's also vector candle zones. Now, if we come down, my first support, other than the 50, is this trend line that we're ascending in. Let me just try to put it perfectly. We have it over here. There you go. My first target for Solana, if we come down in this candle, it will be around, I'll put it in green because it's a buy zone, 14.143. You lose that, you have the 13.852. You lose that, you come down to where you were bought up from at 12.369. Then obviously yesterday's low. I have other targets for Solana that come down here. They were just fib extensions. I took them. I'll show you how I plotted them. So you have an idea what I'm looking at and why I'm looking at that. Sold due to fix FTX liquidation and few billion unlocked from staking. Yeah, I heard that was happening in less than 24 hours, which is today. So if you're in a long in Solana, you should be aware that I think it was more than 900 million of Solana being unlocked from staking, I think. And I think it already occurred, I'm not sure, but yesterday it was said less than 24 hours that will happen, Jason. So just be aware we might have some more volatility. I can't tell you to the downside, but if a lot of people got the Solana unstaked, and the market is so uncertain. If I was owning Solana and I was a retail trader and I just made bank on staking Solana, I'll just dump it right now in fear of further dump, because retail usually sells at the low. They don't sell at the high. So now I'll show you my level, why I have these levels lower. Oh, it's still on hold. Do you know when is it going to be unstaked, Mr. Nobody? Okay, I'll get rid of these ranges. These were previous ranges that I had. Now looking, I had this target, by the way, for a long time. I'll show you. Interesting thing. We were in a rising wedge from the June lows. I plotted this a while back and I took the measured move at the breakout from this rising wedge. It's just the length of this pole of this rising wedge, the widest part of the rising wedge, and it showed me $20. And from the breakout over here in August, it took us till November. This was August 19th to November to hit my target. When did we hit it? $20. We exceeded it on November 8th. So technical analysis does work. It's not mumbo jumbo. It's supposed to be out, but Epoch has put that on hold for some reason. Sorry, I don't know what's epoch or epoch. Am I saying it right? Could you tell me what's that? Yeah, I guess so. We'll have continuation. Market feel bullish. The market players feel bullish. We might have some continuation to the upside, and you could have a good sell order over there with a stop loss. Now looking at this, I didn't look at it this way at the beginning, but let me take a fib extension from the high of this wave to the low of this wave to the high. So I'm counting this now. I'm changing my count. I want to see how it will work. This was a 1. We came down in a very ugly 1, and this was a 2, which retraced, I would say, about 0.786 or even more. Almost 1-to-1, but it didn't hit the 1-to-1, so it's fine to be a wave 2. That's where Sol was staking being unlocked. Okay. So it's on hold, so that's good news for Sol. That might push Solana up. So yeah, if this was a 1, and I'll take the Elliott wave count. This was a 1, a 2, and 3. I would expect a 3 to at least go to the 1-to-1 over here, which we did, the 1-to-1 extension, or the 1.618, but it looks like it exceeded it. So now that I have that count, I go deeper into my third wave, which started over here. I dissect this third wave and look at it in a smaller time frame on the hourly. Let's look at my third wave. My third wave started here, and I could say this was a 1 and this was a spike up for a 2, a shallow 2, and a 1. From the top of 1 to the bottom of 1 to the high of 2 will give me my wave 3 projection, and we hit perfectly the 1.618, 9.416, and the candle was at 9.4. I mean, you can't say fib doesn't work. I don't know why I had these other targets. I can't remember. What was it? I think it was other way. I measured it another way because this was my third wave started here. Okay, I think I know what I did. My third wave started here. Now I'm dissecting the third wave. This was a 1. It ended over here. The 2 bounced off to here, and the 1-to-1 extension of the third wave was at 11. The 1.618 takes me to 3. Oh man, I can't remember why I had these targets, but they're just additional targets that I have that weren't hit yet, but I was expecting them to be hit. It looks like we're making some up moves for Solana. If you want to see any other altcoins or any indices, you can post them in the chat, sorry, and I'll be happy to do some charting. But if not, I would like to look at Litecoin. This is Litecoin perpetual futures. I was trading this. I got out of the trade too early, then it went even lower, but you will never catch the high, you never catch the low. Litecoin is doing good. It's looking really bullish, but we are topping off at the 200 EMA. As you can see, we barely touched it, and probably if we look at it with a fixed range volume profile, that will also be a value area high. Look, a lot of these coins is just like a Nintendo game. You see them doing the same thing. They all mimic. If you look at alts and you look at Ethereum, you'll notice that whatever Ethereum does, altcoins do. Some people went long on Ethereum today and were aiming for, I was watching a YouTuber and they were aiming for 13, I believe 80. I hope they got out of the trade because we totally reversed to their entry or even lower. So on the hourly, Ethereum is losing the 50 EMA. We're still holding on. Well, yeah, sometimes it fails. I like how you picked up a new hybrid system from CC. Tino and your own flavor. Thanks, man. Yeah, I try to use CC. I watch his videos, but to tell you the truth, fib retracements and trend-based fibs, I learned them initially by following another YouTuber, not CC. I came to know CC Pool later on. Yeah, so shout out to CC Pool. It's insane the amount of money he puts in his trades, but I guess if you have millions, then what is 100,000 loss in $1 million or billions? Tino, I like his way that he doesn't have FOMO. He kicks out FOMO, and but W's and M's don't always play out, but they are patterns. I know that he disses flag patterns and pennants. I don't really use them, but they do play out. You could see them play out a lot on the DXY, a bull flag after a bull flag after a bull flag. But in the end of the day, whatever you want to name, the Mario flags or whatever, they are just chart patterns based on behavior of humans interacting with algorithms, placing trades on their analysis of human actions and reactions. So in the end, it forms a pattern. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when you start getting a pennant or triangle, it's showing you that there is a retraction. If it's an ascending triangle, it shows you that the buyers are pushing up, but they're struggling to push, and eventually they will pop. But sometimes it fails to the downside. So you can't always say patterns work, but I just believe all patterns are human behavior. You can't change it. Ethereum. I had targets for Ethereum. I posted them a long time ago and they were hit. I did an interesting thing over here. Unfortunately, TradingView. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. On the weekly, I went as far as the weekly. I went to the 2020 bull run and I took zones. I went on the 4 hourly and I found, on the weekly you could see them. That's a demand wick. I marked it out, Jan 2020 demand wick from this candle, and it is a vector candle. And this is another demand wick, maybe on the 4 hourly, or maybe the line moved. Sometimes they move. This line over here, 880, 878. And this was the January 2020 lows. I feel my lines have moved. Anyhow, and I went on the 4 hourly, and I took a fixed range volume profile and I looked at the value area high and I marked it out. Value area low, I think I haven't marked it out. And POC. Why did my POC disappear? Anyhow, and I mark them and I look at my lines, and if you go in the chart, you will see that in our past dump, and if we take it in the 4 hourly, you'll see more interaction with these lines. When we were dumping from up there, we came down. You can't make this up. I mean, okay, we broke here with volume. You can see it's clearly volume. It can't break out with retail. Over here, again, volume. It tells you it's a point of interest for algorithms or big traders. And look at that. Exactly on the demand wick from 2020. I mean, it was just a recovery of the vector. And we came up, retest that upper demand wick, came up, almost retested it again. And now let's go here. January 2020 value area high is also a point of interest. You can see we bounced off it over here. Did we even test it? Yeah, a vector candle just kissed it and bounced off it. I mean, if you go left, if you look left and mark them out, you can see amazing things. You could do them with anything, any kind of chart, any index. And I was expecting us to come back down here again, 994. But do we have anything looking left? Do we have any vector candle zones? So let me turn that off. It will make it easier and go like that. We don't have any interest over here. We have interest over here. And we have the lows of 2020. So much interest. So let's see how it plays out. Ethereum is not looking good on the 4 hourly. I want to look at the RSIs and see if we have any divergences. What do I think about Atom? Is it possible that it can go back to June lows? You're absolutely right. Thanks, man. Yep, I guess we have this. It's nice to chat and stream with same mindset, like mindset people. I'll look at Atom in a moment. I just want to take this RSI. And I'll get rid of that, and the MACD. Okay, the MACD on the 4 hourly is showing a bullish crossover. On the 2 hourly, we're moving up. We have room to go up. On the 3 hours, we're moving up. So on the 1 hourly, definitely we're up. Are we oversold? We are slightly curling down. We might have a cool-off period for the RSI as well, because the RSI on smaller time frames must be overbought. It got to overbought over here. That was a perfect entry, and we came down. So we need to stay in the range between 40 and 80. That's a bullish range on higher time frames. On the 15 minutes, you can see the RSI is curling up, so we may have another run-up. We may have a run-up for Ethereum. Any divergences? We have a low, a higher low, a low, and a lower low. That's hidden bullish divergence. That could be a continuation to the upside on the 15 minute. Possibly test the 1406. On the 1 hour, do we have any bullish or bearish divergence? We had a high. We have a higher high. This is major bearish, hidden bearish divergence. We have a high and a lower high. Let's look at money flow. The money flow index. Do we have any divergences? High, high, high. Yes, we have hidden bearish divergence on the 1 hour. On the 4 hour, we don't have any divergences. No divergences on the 4 hour. So yeah, on the hourly, we have hidden bearish divergence. On the 15 minute, we have bullish divergence. So 15 minutes may take us up, hidden bullish divergence may take us up, and then we confirm it, and then we go back down because of the 4 hour. We still have huge vectors and a wick 882 from June for ETH. 882. I thought I had that level. I don't. Let me see. Let me go back. Where was it? I remember having a target of 911. I don't know why it has moved for ETH. I wish you could just click a button and undo everything you've done. but trading view doesn't want to make it easy for us. So I have it at 911. Okay, we have a vector candle on the 4 hourly, 880. There you go. Yeah, you're right, absolutely right. 830 to 880. That's a delicious vector for it to go down and recover. Now we will go to Atom. Let's look at Atom if we think it could go lower. Atom USD. This is not futures. This is just capital.com. I don't like this chart. Let's go to Atom USDT or USD. Okay, we'll take this Coinbase chart. It might have enough data. Atom USD, can we go lower? 1 second, guys. I just want to take a look at Atom over here. Did I have any targets for Atom? Daily. This is a reversal signal when you have a red candle and a blue candle. So we might pump up again for Atom. It's happening at the moment. Okay. Binance USDT, sure, brother. Atom USDT on Binance. There you go. For starters, Atom has a vector that it formed in July. We haven't recovered it yet. And we have several vectors down here. But Atom at the moment has this vector as a first point of interest at $8. Let's try and see if there is any confluence for that. Let's take volume profile for this range. We have the value area low at around 7.6. So that's close to this range. But we haven't lost the point of control. If we lose the point of control, then definitely, you know, we're going to test the value area low. As you know, that Atom, for anybody passing through, smash the likes, guys. I will really appreciate it. And let's get it back to the charts. Okay, value area high. Value area high is my next point of interest for Atom for a rejection. And let's pull out some EMAs and look at our traders reality indicator over here. Shout out to Tino, guys. If you are watching his videos, just tell him more trades. Shouts out. Okay, Atom has a vector candle over here to recover, but as we know, vector candles don't have to be recovered immediately. This is on the daily, and we could come all the way up here to the 200 and sell off again. But we are, if we get above here and we get above here, that will be above the value area high, and that is going to push us to the upside. Now let's take a projection on a smaller time frame on this business that's been going on since yesterday. This was our range from here to here, and we are at the point in control of this range. We are trying to get above it on the hourly. Our value area high, we rejected off. So this point would be a nice point to, if someone wanted to short. I would say not really, because you're above the 50. You are above the 50 EMA, so you have support from the 50 EMA. You are on a smaller time frame, technically above the point of control. On the 15 minutes, you could see that you're above the point of control, and you're trying to go eat liquidity over here. But when you see vector candles appearing at the highs and price doesn't go higher, like you see a blue stopping volume candle here and here, and it's an indication that you might be going lower. But and then you have a red vector candle over here that pushed down but didn't go anywhere. So that's a concern. But we have this green vector. So the 5 and the 13, the 50 EMA is coming up. The 200 will cross like this, and your 5 and 13s, your 5 and 13 could continue curling up, and you have a nice movement, and you catch support on the 50. So a retest of the 50 is a good point. Within the next 15, this is on the 15-minute chart, you'll have the 50 and the 200 crossing up, and your next point of resistance would be here at $13 for starters. Now, could Atom go lower? I would like to look at the chart and what's happening in the chart. Oh, Jafar, welcome, man, welcome. Yeah, Solana was done. We did an in-depth analysis of Solana. Jafar, I gave some targets for trades. I'm in a trade, and you could watch the video on playback. Where have you been, man? It's been a while. Jafar is one of my first subscribers. You haven't been, I haven't seen you for a while. But yeah, going back to this chart, I would like to consider this as a 1-2 setup. Very shallow. I don't like it. Let's go on the hourly. Maybe I'll see something better. Yeah, okay. Anytime, Jafar. Okay. I mean, it's hard to see a 1-2 setup over here for me, but if we assume a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I got it. I don't like these 1-2 setups over here, so I'll have to assume that this on the hourly was a 1 and a 2. It looks really ugly. We came to the 0.382. The 2 was very weak. Okay, now I'll just give a projection of this wave down. It will make it easier for me. From the top over here to the low, we spiked to a level that I would like to see the wave 2. So I would say this was another 1-2 setup. We came to the golden pocket, the 0.618. All right. And again, I want to remind you guys, I gave you the $13 range as resistance. You have the golden pocket coming in at around 12.6 to 12.8 of the entire range to the downside. So just be aware. $13 for Atom as resistance. Okay, so this was a 1-2. Now, once I know that I have a 1-2, I'll show you how do you find the 3. You take the trend-based fib from the top of 1 to the bottom of 1 to the top of 2. Wave 3 is never the shortest, so at least it will be a 1-to-1 extension. This wave 3 was overextended. As you can see, we came to the 2 point. It was an exceptional dump because of FTX. We came down here, so we know that our wave 3 started from the top over here. Now I want to see how high can I go from the high of wave 3 to the low of wave 3. We came to the 0.618. That is overextended for wave 4. So I might think that we're going to have a rotation. Essentially, I would like to see maximum rejection at the $11 range. But since we broke out and came to the golden pocket, tells me that we might have a bit more upside to go. But the golden pocket is always respected and it could just reject. But I always feel a wave 4 shouldn't go that high. It was a very deep wave 4. And this is an act that you see on a wave 2. Now, if this is a wave 2, and this entire move down was a 1 over wave 3, You get it? The beginning of 3. Oh, I really appreciate it. You don't know how much that means to me, Jafar. I'm glad I was at least able to help one person to help him make a bit more gains. Okay, you mean these the shades that you see over here? It's just called vector candle zone. It's a free indicator on TradingView, and it marks them out for you. Then you know that's where the liquidity is. Jafar, I will advise you to watch this entire stream because there was a lot of analysis about these zones and what do they mean and potential targets. Yeah, so I feel we have more to the upside, but if this is 0.618, then it tells me that I said this is the beginning of 3. I thought 3 was done, but this could just be getting started as a 1. I might be wrong, guys. Don't take my word for it. And we got rejected here as a 2, and we're coming down a 3, 4, 5. How low could it go? Now I'll give you the target. I'll dissect this wave 3 from the top of 3 to the bottom. I mean from the top of the wave 1 of 3 to the top of 2. I can see I have a target over here of this what do they say, low account wave 3, at least coming down to $7 as a 1-to-1, because wave 3 can't be shorter than 2, can't be shorter than any of these two. It needs to be at least equal to 1. And if it's a deeper retracement, $4 for Atom. That is insane. Now let's go with a conservative view. That would be major discounts. I will be, I don't know, what will I be doing? Maybe I'll buy a lot of Atom. Okay, now if you know wave 3 can come down here, now this is how you do it. You project. You project anytime, Mr. Nobody. You project where this is. Elliott waves is not 100%, but you can project and using fibs. So now I want to know the possibilities. If we come down here, how will this play out? So I go from the top of 3 to the bottom of 3, and I'll give wave 4. Since wave 2 was sharp, wave 4 won't be as sharp. It will be a shallow wave 4, probably to the $8 range, maybe $9, but put it here. And most probably wave 2, because it was a quick recovery, wave 4 might crab out and we may go sideways, forming a triangle, or we start crabbing sideways for a while. So you would wave 3 at 7, wave 4 at 8, but you might get a lot of buying pressure since you have a lot of vectors over here. You might exceed and even go as high as the 0.5 that I had. Where is my fib retracement? You might come to the 0.236 or 0.382 or 0.5. The higher you go, the better it is for price to remain at high levels. So if we say wave 4 doesn't go high, it stays at the lowest retracement. Now I'm going to measure wave 5 for you. I'll tell you my projection for wave 5. Wave 5 is basically the length of wave 1 from the beginning of 1 to the end of 1 to the top of this wave 4. The end of wave 4, whether it's the top or the bottom, the end of wave 4. Wave 5 can come to the 1-to-1 extension over here, $4. We could go as low as $4. But now if wave 4 goes high to 0.5 fib retracement at $10, that will change our wave 5. Now we measure it again. From the top of 1 to the bottom of 1 to the top of 4, my wave 5 will come at least to the 1-to-1 at $5. So if this is a true bear market and we're going to continue lower, then I see anything between $4 to $5. But looking at this pump, and me being a retail trader as every other trader, it's true I chart and all that, but I am a retail trader. It's getting me thinking, can we go higher? We possibly could go higher to the $13 range. Or is this the midweek reversal and we go back to our psychological levels at around $15? We broke out in the beginning of the week from this zone, and we can come back to it. I'm going to show you something, another indicator that I can demonstrate that this happens. We break out of the range and we come back to it later on. So if we go on the 1 hour chart, this week's psychological level we broke down and we may go up, I'm saying. And if you go to the past, I think it needs time to load. Oh yeah, because we haven't taken out the low of the June lows. I'll get back to that. I'm going to show you something else. The June lows have been taken out on some things, but others didn't. Bitcoin has taken out, but some things were doing it before Bitcoin. I don't know why this indicator isn't loading up. Let me go to Bitcoin. Maybe it loads up on Bitcoin. I'll go to a clean chart of Bitcoin. This is my clean chart. It's still messy, but yeah, why isn't it? There we go. Let's go back to Atom now. Okay, now I was telling you, when you break out the psychological level, which was this level, which was printed, you may go back. Why? I'll give you an example. Over here, the beginning of the week, we broke out of the psychological level from $13 to $14. This was on the breakout, was the beginning of the week, was Sunday. Broke out as they formed the psychological level, and we came back to it on a Wednesday. Thursdays are usually midweek reversals. Now we look at this box over here. We broke out on a Sunday, came back, faked out, broke out again on a Monday. This was a crazy one. Came back and broke out. But sometimes, like this one, Sunday breakout, on a Monday we broke out. The fake false move Mondays, as we call it. We came back on a Thursday, exactly the day of a midweek reversal. You can go back at the chart and look at this, and you can see it is highly probable. It is highly probable. Now, looking at this formation, it was a W, but we invalidated it. We might form another W, highly probable. We come like this, $13, or back to the psychological level of $14. Then we start doing this. Doesn't look like a W. People think, what's happening? What's happening? And we start tanking again, and we form the second leg. But it also doesn't always play out. 12.39 on Atom has been a very strong support. It's going to take some time to break it. 12.39. Oh, you're talking about this level. 12.39, I can't see it. 12.39 over here. Okay, I get you. I get you. He's talking about this. Let's look left. Yeah, resistance, resistance, support. I mean, it's a level that you could go back years. You can see even in August we just wicked this level. I mean, if you take Atom on the daily, and let's look at it like this, and take the tool, I bet you that's probably the point of control. No, it's not. There you go. But that's insane, pulling all this and considering this whole thing a range. That's crazy. But yeah, if you do that, why does it go there? I want it set over here. Anyways, it's a point of control. Clearly it's really strong, and it will take us time to break it. So since you mentioned that, Mr. Nobody, then you should be aware that if you break this zone and you want to trade Atom, then you break it, retest it, then you know you have support. Stop loss, you could put it below the previous low depending on how much leverage and margin you have, and you can go higher. Then you know that the next zone is a psychological low at $14, and you have this wick that you'll want to come and recover. What else? Yeah, about the June lows, I'm gonna go back to the US 100 and show you the US 100. Wow, look at that. Is that even, whoa, that's a big candle on a daily chart. What's that move for Nasdaq? 6%. So that's 12% for Bitcoin, 9% for Bitcoin, 6% for Nasdaq. The US, wow, 1,000 points for Dow Jones. It hasn't done that in a while. The SPY, 4%. That's a big move for the SPY. I didn't look at that today, but yeah, look. Speaking about the June lows, going back on the daily, if you want to look at the June lows for Nasdaq, we took them out early during October. We took them out here, September. So the Nasdaq was leading in taking out its low, and the Dow Jones has taken out its low, the June lows, in September as well. The S&P 500, the June lows have been taken out in September. They've all taken out their June lows before Bitcoin. Oh, June lows Atom. Sorry, bro. June lows. Yeah, $5. That level I was giving, I think it was 1.618 extension or something for the wave 5. Yeah, man, that would be the June low. So Atom hasn't taken. Yeah, Atom, Ethereum are in a different cycle. I think they're changing. They're not really following Bitcoin anymore, because Bitcoin took out its June lows. So Bitcoin has taken out its June lows. When Bitcoin was up here, we were expecting it to take out its June lows and Ethereum to make a higher low. So Ethereum is still forming a higher low, and as Bitcoin takes out its June lows and bounces, that will make Ethereum be able to take the higher high. So the altcoins, essentially, not all of them, but I think Atom, Ethereum, Solana is an exception, but I think Atom and Ethereum have not taken their June lows, and they're forming higher highs. They're not doing what Bitcoin is doing. They're in a different zone. Now, Matic, on the other hand, oh, I missed this trade. I had this marked out. I missed this trade. I wasn't looking at Matic. I wasn't looking at trading Matic. I was focusing on Solana, Bitcoin. You had 1, 2 chances to enter the short. You might get another chance. Let's see if we have any confluence over here for a possible Matic trade. 1 hour chart. Oh, it's a psychological low. So you're wicking. You're attempting to do that midweek reversal. You're wicking into the psychological low. And if I take the fixed range volume profile for this range, we are above the value area high. What if I adjust this into making it this range? We are way above it. So we are above the value area high. We are way above the value area high. I mean, not way above, but we're getting support, but we might break down like what Ethereum did. Probably they will tank, most probably, when Bitcoin dominance goes up, but I think they're sort of decoupling. So say when Bitcoin starts shooting up, Ethereum would have already made its up move way in advance. Ethereum might be at 3K when Bitcoin is at 20K again, or 21K. You know what I mean? Because Ethereum put a higher low, while Bitcoin broke. It will take it some time to get up there. Bitcoin is a heavyweight. We have some important news coming in tomorrow. Let's look at it. So that would be also a market mover. We have a market mover tomorrow. Tomorrow, 11th. Consumer sentiment. Forecast is 59.5. Actual greater than forecast will be good for currency. So if actual doesn't go above forecast and stays at 59.5, the market might not do much or might take it as a bullish signal. Excuse me for a second. I'm back. Yeah, so consumer sentiment, and we have the GDP for the Great British Pound month on month. So if that comes out greater than forecast, that would be good for the pound. That would be a bit bad for the US dollar. Let's see how it plays out tomorrow. That's about it. ETH BTC chart losing ground. ETH BTC, where's ETH BTC? ETH BTC. So in my opinion, if ETH BTC is losing ground, that means why isn't it loading? ETH BTC. I haven't traded this. Do you trade this ETH BTC chart? Yeah, it's above the 50 EMA on the 1 hour, so it's still good. On the 15 minutes, we're losing. We're at the 50 EMA still. But yeah, it is losing ground. So that if ETH BTC goes down, that's essentially telling you that I believe that Bitcoin dominance is coming up. That's what it sounds to me like. I would like to see what Tokyo does tonight after this pump, what response it has. What response will Tokyo have? Let's take a look at Solana. Just make sure my trade is going well. This is on the 15 minute. We're still clinging on to the 50 EMA. We're forming what I always like to call a crowfoot. You can see it like, it's like a crowfoot, like a actual animal, like an actual bird's foot. And you usually get a dump after that. So we will expect a slight push down, possibly to this 14.143. Yeah, if you haven't already, please subscribe, Mr. Nobody. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. And I'll be posting updates probably later on after Tokyo opens. Maybe I'll be posting a video, probably a short, so you won't get notified if I post a short. You will just have to search my channel on YouTube and go to shorts, and you'll see my short videos. I usually post shorts frequently because sometimes I'm on the move and I'm using my phone. I'm posting short videos. Sometimes I post them as videos through my phone because I'm on the move a lot of times. Let's see if Solana is going to get to that 18.343 again. It looks like it's trying to push up. $20 is the next level. My major level is at 23 to $25. I'm really looking at that. Thanks. Kong is going to run for the profit from all the gains. I hope it does. That will mean more downside for us. What do you think? Down or up when Tokyo opens? I think when Tokyo opens, I think when Sydney opens, it might pull some shenanigans, maybe spike up, spike down, hold the range. Then Tokyo comes in, pulls it down slightly, and maybe Hong Kong continues. Thanks for subscribing, Mr. Nobody. You could follow me on Instagram. I also post charts when I don't post videos. I sometimes post shots of charts with description of what I'm looking at, some quick TA, and yeah, I'm guessing down. I'm hoping down because I'm in a short on BTC and Sol. Some TA on Instagram. You could find my channel if you look. If you go to my channel and you go to the About section, and you see the Instagram link. I'm crossing my fingers to go down. I hope we go down. Yeah. All right. I think if no one has any requests for any technical analysis on any coins, then I'll be ending the stream shortly in a few seconds. Thanks for tuning in. I think this was one of my best streams. It was my longest streams. Just one thing I would like to highlight, that since yesterday's low, it wasn't even yesterday, it was today's low. Yeah, 10th of November's low. We've gone up on Solana 100%. So if anyone took that long from the bottom over here, that was a good trade with leverage, with 2x leverage or 10x leverage. That's insane gains. I'm from Oman, but I don't live in Oman. I live in Bahrain. Where are you from? Oh, you don't use Insta. Okay. All right, Mr. Nobody. If you have no more requests, I think I'll be signing out. Thanks a lot for tuning in. One of the best streams. So much interaction. Yeah. See you in the next one. More trades. I'm out. Oh yeah, before I go, I said, oh, you live in Spain, but where are you from? Before I go, I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I'm going to be posting that video that I spoke about, the 300, 400, and 500 EMAs on the weekly 4 months ago. I'll be leaving it in the end screen. Yeah. See you soon, buddy.